you own a remodeling or home services company doing between 500,000 and 10 million, and you feel like your sales revenue depends on whether you personally show up to the sales appointment, this video is going to change that. And actually quite a few other sales related mistakes most owners make when growing their company. And I'm going to walk you through the exact sales diagnostic I use with owners just like you, the same one that's helped companies add nearly 500,000 or way more than that of sales revenue without hiring a single new salesperson, which you can do that too. And I'm going to give you a free workbook so you can do this yourself, like right now while you watch. I don't want you to just watch this and nothing changes in your life or business. So let's put these concepts to work. The link's in the description. Download it, grab a pen, and let's go. But first, who am I to tell you any of this? My name is Gavin Weber. I doubt you've come across me before, but I appreciate you watching this, and I'm excited what this will mean for your business. I've got 29 years of sales experience in this industry and other industries too. And as a salesperson, I averaged 2.3 million a year in personal kitchen table sales, in-home sales. My best year was 2.6 million, a close rate of nearly 50% in an industry where 20 to 22% is average. And as a general manager, I took a branch from 1.8 million to 5 million in just 2 years. And I'm not teaching from a decade-old playbook. I just came off the kitchen table. Like I said, I know what works today. I have some unconventional approaches, and I know what makes a difference in today's market. So who's this for? This is for a very specific person. You're the owner, and you do somewhere between 500,000 and 10 million in sales. You built this thing from nothing, and you're really good at selling likely. If you've gotten to this point, maybe the best closer in your company or the only closer. And that's the problem, because right now your business has a single point of failure, and it's you. If you take a week off, revenue drops. If you get sick, deals stall. You've maybe tried hiring some salesperson or a few, and they couldn't close at your level, or maybe even a sales manager not doing what you do. So you pulled them off the road, or they quit, and you went right back to running a lot of the appointments, or maybe even all of them. Does that sound familiar? So if that's the case, this video is your way out. You're working a crazy amount of hours, and you know there's got to be a better way, but you haven't cracked the code yet, and money is leaking. But again, you don't have the answers. So real quick, now let's talk about who this is not for. If you're a solo operator with no team, this isn't your video yet. You need people before you need a system. And if you are the system, keep watching. But if you're under 500,000 in revenue, focus on getting to a product market fit first. Come back to this when you've got a team or at least a system you've been doing. And if you're looking for like a magic script or some silver bullet closing technique, that's not what this is. This is a system. It takes work to install, but once it's installed, it runs without you. That's the key. If that sounds like what you need, you're in the right place. If I were watching this video just like you are right now, I'd probably be thinking two things. First, does this actually work? And second, will it work for my business? Great questions. Because remodeling, home improvement, construction is different. Home services is different. All these things are just a little bit different. And you're right, it is. That's why I'm not going to give you theory. I'm going to show you the exact system I've used to close at nearly 50%, again, in an industry where 20% is kind of the average. And I'm going to help you diagnose your business so you can see exactly where to apply it. Fair enough? Good. Let's get dived into this thing. Now, it's important for me to tell you why I built this. I was running a sales team at a major hardscape company, a paper company. Built the culture from scratch, tripled the business, not by being a better closer, by building a system that made good people a lot better. And I treated the reps with respect, built real training, created an environment where people actually wanted to show up and sell. And then the owners got involved again, made it rigid, brought back the old school high pressure approach. The sit at the table until they sign or they throw you out, which is not a very good mentality in my book. And within weeks, The culture I built, it absolutely collapsed, fell apart. My team turned on me, not because they wanted to, but because I was being forced to operate their way instead of the way that actually tripled the business. So what I do, I resigned. Ironically, then I went to work for a competitor, a guy who used to work at the same company. And he told me something I'll never forget. He said, Gavin, I trust you. I know you. You go be you. I'm not going to give you anything except the freedom to do it your way. So I did. And that's when everything changed. The industry average close rate, again, was in that low 20% rate within that industry. And within a few years, I was closing at 40 to 50%, depending on the month. And I went from the company average of 800,000 per year in sales to 1.3 million my first year, blew it out of water, then 1.6, then 1.8. Eventually averaged over 2.3 million annually, with my best year being about 2.6 million. And my best actual single month, over 400,000, all by doing the opposite of what everyone else was taught. No hard closes, no objection hammering, no high pressure tactics. That's why I call it unconventional selling, because I came up with a process that no one else was doing, which made all the difference. Now, before I show you what does work, let me save you some time by naming what doesn't work. See if any of these apply to you. You've probably already tried at least one of these, and you hired a salesperson with a great resume, a great interview. And 6 weeks later, they're closing at 15% while you're at 45% or even higher. Gone. You bought a sales training program, maybe Sandler, maybe Cardone, maybe some online thing you came across. Your team did it for like 2 weeks, or you did, and then right back to winging it. You tried scripts from another industry and they felt fake and forced, because remodeling isn't SaaS and it isn't used cars. You hired or promoted a sales manager, but they couldn't train your process because you've never documented it. So it's just all over the place. Or you threw more money at marketing, got more leads, but nobody on your team could close them anyway, which didn't really work. Does that sound familiar? And the problem was never the people, the leads, or the training. The problem is there's no system underneath any of it. Big problem. Got to be solved quickly. So here's what we're going to be doing in the next roughly 20, 30 minutes. You're going to walk away with six things. Okay. First, your exact revenue gap number, not a guess, the real math on what you're losing out on. 2, the 3 lies that are keeping your sales stuck. 3, a scorecard like audit of your current sales system. 4, the why, what, and when of building a repeatable sales system. And 5, your objection stack mapped out so objections stop killing your deals. And 6, a gap scorecard that shows you exactly where to focus first. If you haven't already, download the workbook. It's in the links in the description. And this only works if you do it with me and actually do it. And again, before we dive in, I want to say something really important. At any point during this video, if you're doing the exercises and you think, I'm in, like, I don't want to figure this out alone, there's a link in the description to apply for what I call the Uncapped owner, where I build this entire system with you. No pressure, no hard sell, but don't wait until the end of the video if you already know you want help. The link is there. Now, let's get into the diagnosis, which you're really wanting to hear. Part 1, the diagnosis. You got to know where you're at first. We're going to bust the 3 lies first, then audit your sales system, and then do the money math so you see the real number of what's leaking and how much. So go ahead and open your workbook to page 3. So lie number 1, I just need to hire a good salesperson. And you probably said this. Maybe you've tried it 2 or 3 times or way more than that. Just depends on how long you've been in business. You hire someone with a great resume, great interview, and 6 weeks later, they're closing like nothing or 15% while you're at like 45%. So you fire them or they quit and you think, I just got the wrong salesperson. No, you don't have a people problem. That's what most owners make a mistake on. You have a system problem. You can't hand someone a set of keys and say, go sell like me, when you've never documented how you sell. The magic isn't in your personality. It's in the pattern, in the systems, and the patterns can be systemized, and they can probably be a lot more better systemized than what you're doing right now. And we're going to do that too. So line number 2, sales is seasonal. That's just how it works. I hear this from a lot of owners I talk to. January's slow. Sometimes they say it's slow in the summer. Nobody buys in the winter. But here's what I noticed after 18 years in this exact industry. The companies that say sales are seasonal are the same ones with no follow-up system, no good way of, objection handling, no way to re-engage leads that possibly went cold. And so revenue, it's not seasonal. Your process is reactive. The companies I work with that have a real sales system, they sell through every season because they control the conversation, not the calendar. So go ahead and write in your book, what do you blame on seasonality that might actually be a process gap? Like really be real. Be honest with yourself. What are you using as far as seasonality if you are? So line number 3, and this is the one that stings. My close rate is pretty good. Now, when I ask an owner their close rate, they almost always say something like, 30 to 50%. And then we'll look at the numbers and it's actually like 24%. Okay. Pretty good isn't a number. And if you can't measure it, you definitely can't improve it. And you absolutely cannot teach someone else to replicate it. So go ahead and turn to page 4 in your workbook. And I want you to write down your actual close rate, not the one you tell people, the real one. And if you don't know, that's the first problem we're going to be solving today, to make sure you know where you're at. If you're in the dark, you don't know where you're going to go in. You don't know where the light's at. So we got to make sure you know the exact number. So now is the audit. So page 5 of your workbook, 6 yes or no questions. And you can pause the video here as you go through this, but be honest, nobody's watching. Number 1, do you have a documented written sales process that your team follows? Number 2, can a brand new hire follow that process and produce results without shadowing you for months? And then number 3, do you track close rate broken down by each rep, by lead source, and by product type? And number 4, do you have a formal objection handling framework, not just winging it? Number 5, is there a structured follow-up sequence for leads that don't buy on the first visit? I mean, it happens. You don't get every one. And number 6, the big one, can your business sell without you being involved for 2 or more weeks? If you can't, it's not good. Count your yes answers. If you scored between 0 and 2, your sales system is you. Between 3 and 4, you're not pieces. I mean, you've got some pieces, but no machine. And 5 to 6, you're in great shape. And this video will fine tune what you already have. So good job on that. The part that wakes people up, kind of surprising, page 6, the money map. We're going to calculate your actual revenue gap. So line A, how many leads do you get per month? Write it down. Line B, how many of those turn into booked appointments? Line C, what's your current close rate? The real one, not the guess. Line D, the average job size. Now multiply B times C times D, that's E, your current monthly revenue from those leads. Now line F, if you had a real sales system, what could your close rate be? Add 10 to 15% to that. In line G, multiply B times F times D. That's your potential monthly revenue. In line H, G minus E, that gap, that's the money you're leaving on the table every single month. And most owners who do this exercise find a gap of somewhere between $40,000 to $80,000 per month, depending on where you're at. And that's $500,000 to nearly $1 million a year. Not from more leads, not from more marketing, from closing the leads you already had. So let that number, whatever your number is, sink in. For some of you, many of you, it's going to be over $500,000 a year sitting right there in your pipeline. You don't need more leads to start. You need a system that converts the leads you already get. And this is why I get so fired up about this. The money is already there. You're just leaking it and you don't know it. And you blame it on other things. All right, part 2. Now that you've seen the gap, let's talk about how to close that gap. I'm going to teach you the 3 layers of a repeatable sales system: the why, the what, and the when. And this is the framework I install in every company I work with, and it makes a gigantic difference. So why does a repeatable sales system work? Because of something I call the confidence transfer method. Here's the truth about sales in home improvement, remodeling, construction. Homeowners don't buy the best product. They don't buy the cheapest price a lot of the time. They buy from the person they trust the most. And I know you know this. And trust isn't magic, it's transferred confidence. And when you walk into a home and the homeowner feels calm, feels heard, feels like you've done this 1,000 times, that's confidence transfer. The problem is right now that transfer only happens when you walk in, and we need to build a system where any trained rep can create that same feeling, not through personality, through structure that's repeatable. Structure creates confidence, and confidence closes deals. So what does this system actually look like? So I'm going to go through 3 parts. First, the assumed close framework. This means you enter every single appointment assuming the sale is going to happen. Why would it not for what you're going to do if you follow the system? Not arrogantly, with preparation, positioning, and process. You've pre-qualified, hopefully. You've set expectations. You've structured the conversation so closing is the natural next step, not an awkward ask. Second, the objection stack. Every objection your team hears, price, timing, spouse, competitor, whatever it is mapped out with the response framework. Your reps never get caught off guard. And hopefully we've already warded them off so it doesn't even come up. They don't freeze. They don't discount. They handle it. Third, the belonging blueprint. This is where most companies miss. The homeowner should feel, before you ever talk price, like they've already joined something, like they've already bought and they belong. And you're not selling them, you're welcoming them. Huge difference. And when you have all 3 of these, which I go into a lot more detail, but your close rate goes up, your cycle time goes down, and your team can actually sell without you. It feels like a miracle. It feels pretty cool, but there's a process to it. And when you deploy each piece, here's the timeline I use. Weeks 1 and 2, document your current process and install the assumed close framework. This is what I do and what I teach. And don't try to change everything at once. That's overwhelming. Just write down what you do step by step and start training your team on entering appointments with assumption and not hope, like that confidence. Weeks 3 and 4, build your objection stack. So list every objection you hear, write the responses, and role play with your team until it's automatic. But come up in the system to make sure those objections don't come up, handling them. You should know how. And this is where most of the revenue unlock happens. Weeks 5 and 6, the belonging blueprint. Redesign how the customer feels at every touch point, before the visit, during the appointment, and after. And then weeks 7 and 8, measure and optimize. Track close rates by rep. Find weak spots. Coach to the system, not to personality. 8 weeks, that's all it takes to go from I'm in the sales department to I have a sales department and have an actual system that I can actually scale and grow now. So quick check-in. If this is really like clicking for you, do me a favor, hit subscribe. I'm going to definitely be helping you with your business. And I make content specifically from remodeling and home service owners. And if you're getting value from this, you'll want what's coming next. And also drop a comment with your money math gap number. I read every single one. I'll respond, ask me any questions. And now the section is where we map your objection stack. Okay, what do you face all the time? This is where the real money lives, to make sure you're not getting these objections all the time and already handling them before the end. So part 3, the objection stack. Turn to page 8 in your workbook. This is my favorite part because this is where owners realize how much money they've been losing to the same 3 or 4 objections over and over, and they keep falling for it and they keep scratching their head, and it's frustrating. And here's what I want you to think about regarding objections. Imagine every unsold deal hits a wall. On one side is your prospect. They want to say yes. On the other side is the signed contract. The wall is made of bricks, and every brick is an objection. Price, timing, the spouse who isn't here, the competitor bid. And right now, your reps hit that wall and react differently every time. And they don't have a system for it. One discounts, one argues, one freezes, one just gives up. The objection stack is your demolition plan. You should know what always comes up. We're going to label every brick in that wall and assign a removal tool to each one as part of the process. And the wall's mapped. It stops being so scary. It becomes a checklist that you do as part of your system. Game changer when I started doing this. So in your workbook, I want you to take a sec and write down your top 5 objections. Okay. I'll give you some of the most common ones that I've come across, but customize it to your business. Everything's just a little bit different. But number 1, price. Your price is too high. We got a lower bid. Number 2, timing. We're not ready yet. Let's wait until spring. Number 3, the spouse. I need to talk to my husband or wife. Hopefully they're there. Hopefully you don't take appointments without both there. Number 4, the competitor. We're going to get other quotes. Number 5, trust. How do I know you'll actually do what you say? Now, for each one, I want 3 columns. Here's what we're going to do. Column 1, the exact trigger phrase you hear. Column 2, what your reps currently say when they hear it. And column 3, what they should say or what they should do even before they hear it. And leave column 3 blank for now. We're going to build it. So here's a stat that should make you think and possibly even bother you. In the companies I've worked with, 73% of lost deals involve an objection that was never properly addressed. And they had no idea. The salesperson did. Not that the homeowner said no, not that their price was actually too high. The rep just didn't have a response or a plan for the objection. They froze, they discounted, or they said, hey, let me get back to you. And then they never did. It's not a closing problem. That's a preparation problem. That's a sales system problem. And it's fixable in 2 weeks, or what we do, even less. Here's a framework your team uses for every objection. 4 steps. Step 1, validate. Never argue. Say something like, I totally understand. That's a smart concern. You're making them feel heard and not wrong. You don't want to ever argue. Step 2, reframe. Shift the context. Make the objection feel smaller than the cost of not moving forward. For price, I get it. But what does it cost you to do this project twice with a cheaper contractor that you're not happy with that work? Something like that. Step 3, evidence. Share a specific story, stat, or proof point from a past client who had the same objection and move forward anyway. Real stories, like beat logic every time. Don't make stuff up either. Step 4, bridge back. Knowing that, does it make sense to move forward today? This isn't pushy. It's confident. It's the assumed close in action. Write this framework in your workbook so you can remember it. Then apply it to each of your top 5 objections. This is, the homework that makes you money immediately. So I call these the 4 uncaps. You'll see what I mean. Number 1, uncapped sales, which is what we've been doing today. Build a repeatable sales system so revenue doesn't depend on you. Number 2, uncapped revenue. Diversify your revenue stream. Stop being dependent on one product or one type of project. And number 3, uncapped culture. Build a team that actually runs without you. Hire the right people, train them with systems, and create a culture where A players want to stay and it attracts other A players. Number 4, uncap with AI. Use AI to automate the 10 hours per week of admin, follow-up, and busy work you shouldn't be doing anyway. AI is the game changer if you know what you're doing. Today, we focused on number 1. The other 3, that's what the Uncapped Owner Program is for. That's what I teach you in more detail. I can't go through everything in this video today, and I want to make sure that I am giving you as much good information to apply immediately. Now, last exercise, page 10 in your workbook, the gap scorecard. Rate yourself 1 to 5 in each of the 4 areas. Sales system, how documented, repeatable, and team-proof is your sales process? Revenue diversification. Are you dependent on what type of project, or do you have multiple streams? Team and culture. Can your business operate without you? And if it can a little bit, how well? And AI and automation. Are you leveraging technology or still doing everything manually? Add them up. And out of 20, your lowest score, that's your biggest opportunity. That's where the unlock is. And I'll bet for most of you watching, that lowest score is in sales system, which is exactly why we spent this whole video on number one. I know it. So if you've done the exercises in this video, if you haven't, go back and do it. It's going to help you. You now know three things. One, where your sales system is broken. Two, how much money that's costing you. And three, exactly what the fix looks like. Now, you have two options. Option one, take everything from today and implement it yourself. You have the workbook, you have the frameworks. You can absolutely do this on your own. You can. And I'll be rooting for you. But option two, let me build it with you. Get my help. The Uncapped Owner, it's my 16-week group coaching program where we install all 4 systems into your business. And in a way that's not overwhelming, not theory, not another course you'll never finish. We actually build it together in your business with your team that you may or may not have that you're growing. But here's what you get. Your repeatable sales system, documented, installed, customized to you and your business. Your objection stack, built and role played with your actual team, and a revenue diversification strategy. AI automation that saves you 10 plus hours a week, maybe more, and weekly group coaching, plus private implementation and support. The founding cohort is $1,500, but it'll be going up quite a bit soon if you're watching this later. And that's less than the revenue gap either way. Most of you calculated the money math exercise for a single month, let alone the year. So if this is for you, there's a link in the description to apply. It takes about 3 minutes, and I review every application personally. And if it's a fit, we'll get on a quick call to make sure it's right for both of us. So get help. I'm learning things of, even how to do YouTube videos and things like that. And help is going to help get through the system faster and help you get there faster. So here's what I want to leave you with. You started this video as the best salesperson in your company. And that's the problem. The goal isn't to be the best closer, to do everything. The goal is to build a system so good that you don't need to be the one. Stop being the bottleneck and start being the owner. If you got value from this, please, I appreciate if you subscribe, share it. I make content every week for remodeling and home services owners who want to grow their sales, improve their team without burning out. So drop your gap scorecard total in the comments. Like I said before, I read every single comment. Download the workbook if you haven't. It's free. Links in the description. And if you're ready to build this with me, apply for the Uncapped Owner. And I will see you in the next video. Excited to hopefully talk to many of you.